On this day, all those involved in education come together to enhance India's reputation as a knowledge driven society and focus on how to educate the nation. We are highly grateful to Professor Arun Grover for giving us the opportunity to host this event today. Dr. Deepak Gupta's dedication and visionary approach has led to many such inspiring initiatives aiming at enhancing learning, research, and professional growth at Dr. Harwant Singh Judd Institute of Dental Sciences and Hospital. His commitment in organizing events like today's lecture reflects his enthusiasm to provide enriching opportunities for students and faculty alike. Now I request Dr. Gupta to come on the stage and say a few words.
Good afternoon. On behalf of Dental Institute, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome our esteemed guest of honor, Dr. Mukut Prince from Fortis Hospital, who is a non-named renal transplant and has been awarded Padma Shri in the year 2017 by Government of India. He has been kind enough to take time from his busy schedule to be with us today. Thank you so much, sir. I also welcome today's guest speaker, Dr. Jitendra Kumar Sahu, a pediatric urologist from PGI and recipient of Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar 2024. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. And I would also like to welcome our very own Professor Grover, former Vice Chancellor of Punjab University, Chandigarh, and Vice President of Society for Promotion of Science and Technology in India. Sir has played a key role in organizing programs even for our institution. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us today. As far as topic of today's lecture is concerned, that is how to be a successful researcher. I would like to mention that our Ji gave an iconic slogan of Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, which has metamorphed into a much wider and comprehensive slogan of Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan, and Jai Anusandhan. The slogan typically reflects the legal aspirations of India as it is poised to be Viksit Bharat by the year 2047. Today, the problems of society are very complex in nature, and Anusandhan, that is research, is a primary thing which is required to tackle these complex problems. Further on, India does not lack quantity as far as research is concerned, but definitely quality is what we need for business control. And I'm sure today lecture will not tell us why we need to research, how we should work on research, quality research, and contribute to the vision of Viksit Bharat by 2047. With these words, thank you so much, dignitaries, and I also thanks all the staff and students to be here, and hope we will get most of this lecture by Professor Jitendra Kumar Sahu. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. I feel extremely privileged to introduce the backbone of this event, Professor Arun Grover, a condensed matter physicist. Sir has many laurels to his credit. To name a few, he received Homi Bhabha Science and Technology Award of Department of Atomic Energy. His current interest includes the history of higher education in India. Chandigarh Region Innovation and Knowledge Cluster, CRICS, was an initiative by Sir which caught the nation's attention and brought together all the institutions in and around Chandigarh on a common platform. A luminary and a man of far-sighted vision, he laid the foundation during his tenure as Vice Chancellor of Punjab University and is still instrumental in fostering advancements in academics and research excellence at this institute. Now I call upon Sir to say a few words.
Mr. Mukut Prince, Mr. Sahu, Mr. Gupta, teaching colleagues, students, ladies and gentlemen. I am very happy to be amongst you, wearing the hat of Vice President of Society for Promotion of Science and Technology in India. I inherited this from late Professor IBS Pasi, Emeritus Professor of Mathematics, who was the founder, vice president of SPSTI. So once I completed my term, he called me one day and said, I have done this job for long enough years, so please take it over from me and take it forward. And he also induced me to enter into an MOU or MOA with the Chandigarh chapter of the Science Academies of India. We have three science academies: National Science Academy of Sciences in India, Allahabad, that is the oldest one, founded in 1930 by Sahab. Then we have Raman's Academy, Indian Academy of Sciences at Bangalore, founded in 30. National Institute, which transformed into later on, founded in 1935. All of them, there are Chandigarh chapters. So, and they have office bearers and so on. And their job is also to promote popularization of scientific temper in the society. But most of these fellows are either serving professors or they are retired, and they find it difficult to do these things individually. So Professor Pasi said, you have anyway got involved with so many institutes, so evolve some strategy that things are organized on behalf of the SPSTI and these science academies. So we devised this, that we will hold these events together. So today we hold many events in a year together on behalf of Chandigarh chapters of Science Academy, Chandigarh chapters of Indian National Young Academy of Sciences, Greek institutions, and so on. And there are minimum number of events that we hold in a year. That is, we hold expository lectures on 6 Nobel Prizes, expository lecture on Nobel Prize, which is given in the field of mathematics. Then there is also a Turing Award, which is given in the field of computer science. Then there is a World Food Prize. So these 9 expository lectures we hold every year. Then we also commemorate 6 special days in a year. National Science Day, Raman's birthday, 7th of Raman's birthday is 7th November, but is the day Raman effect was announced, 28th of February. Then we have a National Technology Day on November 11th. Then we celebrate National Statistics Day, which is the birthday of Mahalanobis. Then we celebrate National Engineers Day, the birthday of Vishweshwarayya. Then we celebrate National Education Day. And finally, the National Mathematics Day, which is the birthday of Ramanujan on December 22nd. So we hold these lectures in different institutions. So this year, last year, we commenced a series of requesting faculty from our region who have received some national recognition. So Bhatnagar Awards were discontinued, and new way of recognizing young people of the stature of old Bhatnagar awardees was started in the form of this Vigyan Shri, Bhatnagar Vigyan Shri. So Professor Sahu is our first recipient in that series. So I approached him that whether he would agree to give a lecture. He consented. And then we thought of hosting this lecture in a medical institute. So in the Punjab University, this is our medical institute. So then I approached Professor Mukut Mins. I have been in touch with him for a long time. And whenever I have approached him, he has never said no. I am very grateful to him that he consented to be with us today to inspire the young people. So here we are for a lecture for all of you, which is in a hybrid mode, which is also being webcast to other institutions. And this lecture will be later on also be available offline. You can go to the SPST website, and those of you who will miss this lecture or you want to listen to it once again, you can listen not only to this lecture, but all the previous lectures during the last 5 years. We have a huge archive of these lectures, a lot of them very interesting. So whenever you want to learn something from an expert, so here is an archive. So with this, I can conclude. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us the opportunity to host this event today at our institute. Our guest of honor, Dr. Mukut Mins, is a recipient of India's 4th highest civilian award, the prestigious Padma Shri Award by the Honorable President of India, Shri Pranab Mukherjee, for his immeasurable contribution to the field of medicine. Sir is a veteran in kidney transplant whose reputation precedes him because of his work as a surgeon, an academician, and a researcher. With his dedication in patient care and groundbreaking work in renal transplants, Sir has performed over 3,500 successful kidney transplants, breaking all boundaries and saving countless lives, and earning worldwide respect. Sir, it's an honor to have you today with us. Now I request Sir to share his thoughts with us.
Thank you so much for your very kind words and lot of gratitude to Professor Arun Grover, whom I know for a very long time, and we keep meeting here and there. We are good friends. He rang me up to come to as a guest. I didn't know what occasion is this and what he wants me to say. But anyway, I found that today is the Education Day, National Education Day, and it's the birth anniversary of our first education minister, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad. And I think you all must be knowing this gentleman. His contribution has been immense to our country. He was the first education minister, and he was a educational activist. He was a freedom fighter, he was a distinguished scholar. And because of his exceptional leadership, he got the first Indian Institute of Technology in Kharagpur, my neighboring state, in 1951, the year I was born. And he also established the University Grant Commission, which is such a big organization. And apart from that, he also established Sahitya Academy, Indian Council of Culture, and a host of them, all educational. So he is remarkable as far as our education policy and things go on. Education legacy goes on. And I think the Punjab University stands as a witness or as a part of this legacy of this great man. We are celebrating his birthday today. Now, I didn't know much about what to say and all that, but I thought the young people, boys and girls in our country should know about research. Research, of course, is going to speak, and research means what? You need to have a scientific temper. I think he has already coined this phrase, said this phrase, Professor Glover. We must have a research, the whole country should have a research, scientific temper. And this phrase, if I remember correctly, was coined by our first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And if you read his book, The Discovery of India, he has explicitly explained about it, what he means about scientific temper. I think it's very important point that he has made in his book. What it says, it points out to a way along which the men should travel, questioning and observing physical phenomena, and testing and hypothesizing things that which you see and you argue, and that's the basics of our scientific foundation. You debate on it, you argue on it, and you hypothesize and try to find a solution. So the young boys and girls must have a questioning mind into why it is happening. And we as seniors, as teachers, we must encourage this. In a lecture or wherever, young boys and girls should be encouraged to ask questions. Only those individuals who ask questions who knows about it. So you have to study and read, and it's very important. We need to we need to, we need to sort of, churn our mind and thinking so that we can uh, better serve the nation and create the scientific temper. In other words, in what I read, is it aims to innovate the value of scientific thinking and drive away superstition, religious bigotry, and all these things. And this is so important in the contemporary society that we see. We need to have it. What I mean and what I aim is that we need to have a host of young people who are healthy, health-wise, who are knowledgeable, who are skillful. This is the workforce, this is the force we need to build a nation. So with this, I won't take much time, but I will certainly wish to hear what Dr. Sahul is going to speak. But then we must maintain a research attitude, questioning mind, and the fearless, attitude and behavior. Thank you so much for inviting me and calling me and giving me this opportunity to speak to young people, and I'm sure they will be inspired by our speaker today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for inspiring us. The esteemed speaker of this session, Dr. Jitendra Kumar Sahu, was conferred the award of Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar, Vigyan Yuva Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar for the year 2024 in medicine by Shrimati Draupadi Murmure, Honorable President of India. This is the highest national science award which is awarded to a person who is less than 45 years of age in recognition of outstanding contributions to research, technology, and innovation in the field of medicine. His vast experience and significant contribution to pediatrics have made him a leading figure in medical research. His commitment to advancing pediatric healthcare through research is exemplary, and we are excited to hear his insights today on becoming a successful researcher. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Jitendra Kumar Sahu for his lecture.
Thank you for generous introduction, and it is my great pleasure. It is my great pleasure, privilege, honor, and I am very much excited to hear here this afternoon. I extend my deep sense of gratitude to Society for Promotion of Science and Technology in India board members, especially Professor Arun Grover, Professor K.R. Dharamveer, and it's this institution who has invited me, Honorable Director, Principal Dr. Deepak Gupta, and all everyone who are involved in this. So it is a great pleasure to hear on this auspicious day. My daughter's birthday is today. So I quickly agreed for this day because it's one of the best way to speak on this and on this day. So I've selected topics selected which may be of interest to you across the fields, and it should not be just restricted to the core my field. So, and before I start, allow me to know just my audience so I may be able to more connect. Who all are students? Okay, great. And who all are faculty members? Okay, thank you. Who all are from basic science? Okay, thank you. I assume rest are from clinical sciences. So, allow me to start from my journey, two stories from my childhood, which has possibly shaped my career. So the first, when I was in class 4, it was in a school in Sindhi, Madhya Pradesh. one of the non-metro city in Hindi medium. I participated in a small speech competition there in class 4. I couldn't succeed. I reappeared in class 5, class 6, same, couldn't succeed. Remember at that time there was no helicopter parenting, that the script is written at home and you get rehearsals and then you appear for the exam. Even the parents were not aware that I'm appearing in this competition. But the teachers used to be very supporting. They used to nurture the skill of the student and enhance the creativity. So, and then I appeared in class 7. I improved, learned from my failures, and that first time I got first prize in my life. So that taught me many messages that if you improve, learn from your failures, you can get best out of yourself. And probably one should allow to see the failures in life. Second story was I was in class 12 in the Sivni, Madhya Pradesh, one of the non-metro city Hindi medium school. I appeared in pre-medical entrance. In that place, hardly people used to get selected in pre-medical entrance. There were around 33,000 students used to appear, and there were 300 seats. So I was failed in that exam. My late father, who had grown up in a very humble background, was little frustrated from my failure. He told me if I would have been at your place, I would have topped this exam, given the resources you have. So that set up a challenge for me, and I took this as a goal. I planned my strategies accordingly, worked very hard, and that year, next year, I emerged as a topper of that state entrance. So that success taught me many lessons. That if you learn from failure, you set your goal very high, and you plan your strategy, you dedicate yourself, you can get best out of yourself. So this, after this, I did my MBBS from Medical College Raipur. Then I joined, it was an excellent institution. Then I joined All India Institute Delhi for doing MD pediatrics. It didn't took, it was just first attempt because I learned from my previous failures very much. So, and then I did DM pediatric neurology from there. And then these are the very prestigious institutions, and it's a great learning opportunity, a very great atmosphere there. Then in 2011, I joined as a faculty member at PGI Chandigarh in Department of Pediatrics. So it is said that imprinting happens where you spend your formative years. And I'm greatly privileged to work with these great institutions. And one of the motto of the PGI is Art Seva Sarvadra Shodash. The third component is Shodash, means research for the well-being of the community. So I strongly believe that among all the sciences, healthcare sciences offers the greatest privilege to serve the mankind directly. This is not there with the other sciences. And being a child neurologist, it was a great privilege to work with children with neurological disorders and epilepsy to improve their quality of life. So just to connect with the condition which I work, this is infantile spasms, also known as West syndrome. It is a severe case of epilepsy which begins in the infants. We usually see epilepsy in the older patients, but so the birth injury happens, and you can see that there was history of hypoglycemic brain injury. In MRI, there was a signature of that injury. And the baby developed this jerks. These are called as chunky dore infantile spasms. And this condition is very peculiar because it doesn't respond to the conventional anti-seizure medications. And child needs to be treated with a specific hormonal therapy. It is entirely different, either by the intramuscular hormonal therapy or the high-dose oral steroids. And if you look at the EEG of this condition, it shows a lot of like burst of discharges keeps coming. So it tells us that it gives the reflection of the brain neurophysiology. that the brain neurophysiology is completely disorganized. So it is a state of urgency to be treated. Child's development is completely arrested. So if you don't interfere, there will be profound developmental impairment. So we started working on, first we looked at, do we recognize and treat this condition timely? One of my student, Abhinaya, dissertation. So we identified that the median duration of treatment lag was 3 months. So it was a pretty high. Treatment lag means onset of spasms to the start of the definitive therapy, 3 months. So we looked at what are the drivers of this treatment lag. So we identified there are 3 important drivers. Number 1, if the child has underlying developmental delay, then doctor may say, or the family will think it is just because of the developmental delay, child is having this and it is nothing to no new problem. Second is less educational status of the parents, so they may not have a great opportunity to contact with the healthcare services. And number 3 was the lack of sensitization of the healthcare providers. So it depends on whom they consulted, whether it was a general physician, pediatricians, or the child neurologist. And we identified that if treatment lag is more than 1 month, then it adversely affects the child's neurological outcome. We published one of the largest cohort of 5 years in which we identified if these children, a significant proportion have persistent seizures later also. So the question arises whether something we can do to treat this condition and improve the outcome of this condition. So that set up a research goal that whether we can make these children seizure-free within 6 months from the onset of the spasms. So now connecting to the topic, why one should be a researcher. So it is very important, and like there is a debate. Many faculty members even think I am a good clinician, so why I should do research? Let me do just clinical work. The researchers should do the research. Even there is a discussion that the thesis should be removed from the MD curriculum, and those who are going to in academics should do thesis as an optional topic. So that is often a matter of debate. So why one should do research? Any wants to answer this? Those who are doing research, anybody who are doing research? Yes.
We can improve the treatment modalities.
Great,
Ultimately,
great.
the community is benefit.
Yes, thank you. Great answer. So many times research is for completion of the degree requirement. It's for the entry into the university requirement. It is because for promotion. It is gives the name and fame. And some people, they love it doing, or it's for the impact you want to make on the patient's life. So those are the things. So if you look at the internationally, there is ample evidence that the universities who have excelled in the patient care or teaching, they also excelled in the research. So it goes together. It is because research gives vitality to the teaching. Research gives essence to the teaching. And it improves the teaching so that the student gets more empowered, and which results into the improvement in the patient care, and improvement in the patient care opens the new avenues for the research. It is a very much interlinked process, the patient care, teaching, and research. And if so, that's my number 1 message. So to explain further, this is a conundrum of research cycle. This is a central dogma of research cycle, that research starts with a research question. Then there are stages of designing a study, implementation of a study, analysis of results, inference of conclusions. Then it again gives a new research question. So a study starts with a research question, it ends at research question. The whole study lives or dies for a research question. So how to have a great research question? So if you look at, I'm sure many will be aware of this, the finer characteristics. Feasible means it should be feasible at your setup. It should be interesting to the researchers. It should be novel. It should be ethical. It should be relevant or value driven. So my question is, among all these attributes, which you find is most important? Who thinks its feasibility is more important? No one? Okay. Interest? No one? Novelty? No. Relevance, correct. So I also strongly believe that the relevance is the most important. Whether if you have done a study because of the feasibility, interest, but if it doesn't translate into the value, it has no meaning. So whenever you decide research question, it has to be looked for this value. So now the question arises, how will you decide, how will you find a valuable research question? So it will not come from sitting in library. It doesn't come working just in the lab for a clinical point of view. It comes from sitting in the outdoor or indoor. So those who have a clinical competence can only identify a great research question which may be of valuable to the healthcare. So therefore, it is very important. A great clinician should not miss the opportunity to be a great researcher, because if the great clinicians are not doing research, then you are missing a very important potential. So therefore, again, I reiterate, clinical research, anybody who is a great clinician or great teacher has to do research. It's very important. So now my next question is, how do you define successful researcher? With a disclosure, I don't say I'm a successful researcher. So anybody who wants to say how success has a different meaning for different people, that is very important. For someone, research success is just getting degree or getting promotion, may also be success, or getting top 2% of the publication list of the global ranking. How do you define your research success? Anybody wants to?
It has come downstream to the masses.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Great. So to answer this, I will go to the next question to make it more understandable. Do you have research goal or vision? When we say goal, means where you want to go into the research pathway. Where you reach doesn't depend on the speed you have traveled. It depends on the road you have traveled. So anyone has research goal. So that is the foremost importance, that the research goal, for example, it should not be like, I just want to improve patient care. It should not be like, I want to improve teaching, or it should be realistic. You should be able to see the goal. And it should be tangible, it should be measurable. So I give you example. Before that, I would like to say that in the current era, everyone has to do research, whether you like it or not, because of the various requirements. And many are successful, many are not. So the thing which, and majority knows what is the research methodology, how to design a study, how to conduct, how to write a paper. But majority do not know what is the research goal. So a single string that unites successful researcher, they know what is their research goal. So that is most important. So for example, if you look at our leadership, Mahatma Gandhi had a vision, he had a goal that India should be free from British. If you look at the current leadership, we have a goal that India should become Viksit Bharat at 2047. Sashakt Bharat, a developed country. It should jump from the current 6 trillion economy to the 30 trillion economy. So that is the goal. You can see, you have a timeline. So this is the goal. Similarly, every institution should have a research goal. Every department should have a research goal. Every lab should have a research goal. Every individual researcher should have a research goal. If you achieve that goal, then only you can say, I am successful. And So if you don't have a goal, please think about your goal. So, and it should be ambitious. And once you have a goal, your whole energy should strive towards achieving that goal. And that gives you constant energy in moving that direction. So coming to the subject I worked, so I started with a very small question, just simple survey study. What is the knowledge attitude practices of children, doctors who are treating infantile spasms in North India? And we identified that there is a quite variation in the practice. Majority are not treating with the first choice. So then we thought we should go further. So we thought how to expand it more. So the next question is, always whenever you do a study, you should think big. The study question should have a reasonable impact. It should not just a regional impact, it should be beyond the boundaries. So we thought, should we do in whole India? Or let us go to do the whole South Asia. So we formed a South Asia infantile spasms study group with members from the India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Cuba, Myanmar, Afghanistan, and allied countries, including Kenya. So when you say collaboration, it is not just working together. It is working together for a cause. I strongly believe that the most successful, most impactful, most sustainable healthcare research outcomes cannot be achieved by the single individual. It can only be achieved by a synergy of different skill sets working together to achieve the goal, which has a cause, in a holistic manner with open-mindedness. And once you have that collaboration, you will see great results. And we could able to publish a series of work in this region, and ongoing work is there. Professor Mukut Minj will agree the power of collaboration in developing the renal transplant program. We also developed the epilepsy surgery program, in which the neurologists are there, electrophysiologists are there, psychologists are there, surgeons are there. So then you can have a significant impact in the patient care. It is not possible in the current era with a single individual efforts. The Crick Association with Professor Grover has developed is also one of the remarkable example of the collaboration of the institutions to develop the great research environment, which is very unique. So this was one of the study in which we published on in South Asia, the management practices. I will skip the findings. We will move on. Then subsequently, we involved the presidents of International League Against Epilepsy, International Bureau of Epilepsy, International Child Neurology Association, Association of Child Neurology India, to join us and allow us to develop an advocacy document, 5-pillar approach to mitigate the treatment lag in the developing world. And you see, once there is a cause, they are also happy to join it under the Indian leadership, you can say. Yeah. So coming to the next important aspect, leadership. Leadership who has a vision of destination. It is important to understand it differs from position. It is not headship or it is even the guide is a leader for the students under his or care or under training. So it's leader's responsibility to provide a safe environment. When we say safe environment, what does it mean? It means a student can come freely and say, I've done blunder without fear. Otherwise, the student will just hide the things, and there's a lot of if it is an unsafe environment, there's a policy of hire and fire. If you're not doing well, you will just checked out from the system. Then they will not come to you. They will just, there may be a lot of different things may happen. If you set up a goal that you have to publish 3 publications every year and someone is underperformer, so there may be a performance pressure. And then they will just do the publication to safeguard themselves from you. And then maybe the research misconduct, there may be the author share gifts, and so many things may turn up. Second important is creative environment. So recently I met a friend in Boston who has done PhD from very nice guide, a prestigious guide, and I asked, how was your experience? He said it was not great because whenever we used to go to the guide, the manuscript, they say it is not, ye theek nahi likha hai, I have to write again. So the person who was not considered valuable here was considered valuable, is performing nice in the Boston. So the guide, it is the leader's responsibility to develop creativity, how to build up where the student is lagging, rather than just criticizing and feeling them you are not valuable and doing by herself or himself. So that is the important role modeling by the leader. And third important skill is to develop the ability to work as a team. The students, I saw somewhere the students get afraid when I go to the on holidays. I'm afraid what will happen to my samples who are lying in the fridge. If electrical fluctuations happen, nobody will able to come to help that. So the team, without teamwork, nothing will success. Otherwise, nobody will be able to work in a holistic manner, and everybody will remain unsafe. So once it is only possible if they find a safe and creative atmosphere, then only the student can work as a team work.
फोल्ड कर जब सुनते सुनते फोल्ड कर दो ये फोल्ड कर मैं भी अपना काम करूं
Few words about bright idea. Bright idea may not necessarily come from a great doctors. It may sometimes come from the patients.
कपड़े
One should be able to listen.
नहीं ऑनलाइन दस
Like
हाँ, तो
one
online
patient
कुछ
told me that we
मैं
have
कपड़े फोल्ड
you have
कर
advised
जब मैं
me to
कपड़े
be
निकाल
patient
पहनना
and
शुरू
to
कर
stop it,
हाथ
but
वाथ
we
चेहरा धोए
continue.
सुबह नहीं आया ना
That's how
स्कूल
we
से
are
आके मेरे दाने हो रहे थोड़े
And so somebody may be scolding to the family. But when I saw the child was improved much better than my 2 months dose. So that gives the opportunity to learn from the patient whether the higher duration is better than the standard duration. So we may have outliers in medicine. Those provides a unique opportunity to learn from the patients, from the new students who come. They may ask a naive question and gives a great idea sometimes. 100 years ago in 1924, this paper was published, and they imagined that a radio doctor, a doctor who can visualize from distance, see the patient, examine, and give consultation. That was just a imaginary prediction at that time. And now you see in 24, there is a e-Sanjeevani, OPD is there, now there may be a teleconsultation. So these are the just ideas in which someone worked, and you will see the results. This is now a standard of care. So I started working, trying different treatments. So one trial we did, the Japanese were love of doing addition pyridoxine to the standard treatment. We did in the combination, high dose combination, if we try whether we can achieve the better therapeutic outcome. Again, we failed, it doesn't work. We tried another thing. High dose zonisamide, there is ample evidence that it may be a good option. Whether it can replace the existing hormonal therapy. Again, we failed that it is not a suitable option. So it's just failures keeps coming whenever you do a trial, but it's just this point is very interesting and inspiring. That whenever you have a failure, it tells us this way doesn't work. That is very important message. Even the journals accept the negative results. That's very important. So now
से तैयार होगा मेरा बच्चा रूटीन ठीक कर ले
is going to be complete, in which we looked at whether the extended low dose duration of therapy is better than the current 2 months of the standard therapy, and probably we are getting some favorable results.
ठीक है अपना
And then few words about power of observation. In Taoism, it is said that you have to be empty, useful. And when we say empty, it means you should not be occupied with so many things. When you are sitting in outdoor, jaldi se batao kya problem, and then I will, yeah. So the patients may be coming with a new things.
कहाँ तक पहुंची
New syndromes, new diagnosis have been described by the clinicians first time, and that has evolved into new hypothesis and new
कहाँ जा रहे हैं
development has been happened. So
दूसरे काम से कर रहा है कट रहा है
and your research goals and your success lies the consistency. That is the number one thing. So consistency is most difficult. There are failures which distract them. So anybody who started morning walk for health and then or going to gym and then stopped, like I am the dropout. Okay. So the consistency, everyone knows it's most challenging and most difficult.
हेलो
And how it is possible to be
आवाज आ
consistent?
रहा है हाँ
Number one, if you love your
हाँ
work,
हाँ ठीक है लो अक्की से बात कर
or you work what you love.
हाँ हाँ ले बात कर
And
बात
second,
कर,
if you have a
हाँ,
research
okay, bye.
goal that gives you continuous reminder that I have to move in this direction. That is the most important thing, consistency. The another thing that unites the persons who are successful is the consistency. They were consistent. It is more important than motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Consistency and discipline has to be there.
Hello, beta.
This is a picture of our outdoor registration department of pediatric center. I sometimes show to the new entrant students which setup you would like to work. The same timing, same day. So majority chooses the right side, the more cleaner, more organized. But in the patient care organization, the patient-driven research can only be possible for teaching when the patients are there. If patients are limited, then the opportunities are limited. We could, for the trial, we could be able to enroll 100. We see infantile spasms new cases around 100 in a year, so we are able to do the trial. Even the best of the US centers, they see around 10 to 15 new cases in a year. So they, for doing same trial, they have to do with multi-centers. But being at the TGI, we can do within a single center these trials. So this provides a unique opportunity. So it is the attitude that is important, that overburden, it's not, it's the opportunity which is there. So the challenges, navigation, adaptation, and opportunities. So challenges and problems come to everyone. It may be the financial challenges, it may be the healthcare. You may have a case parents, your child may be having problem.
And that will
Your
show
boss,
the
you may not be
light
in
of
sync
the
with your boss.
progress and
So problem will be
success.
there, everyone.
Keep
Anybody
that.
who doesn't have
Okay,
any
Nanu,
problem.
thank you.
Okay, bye.
Okay. So,
Pranam, Nanu.
so
हेलो
those who are married, can you change your behavior of your
चलिए
spouse,
अभी
your
कार में बैठ
husband or
गए
wife?
कि अभी कहीं बाहर
Anybody? No. Okay. So how can you change your
अच्छा
boss
अच्छा
character
चलिए बढ़
or
गया
mindset or
ठीक
behavior?
पापा
It
आराम
is
से
not
पहुंचिए
possible.
और सब ठीक ना
You have to
पापा
learn how to navigate. Your boss may say, you do the project, I will be the corresponding author.
हाँ प्रणाम पापा
Then you have to
प्रणाम
learn how to navigate. Don't fight.
ठीक है ठीक
Whether
घर
you
में
can be
बात करते
co-corresponding.
ठीक पापा
Ultimately,
हाँ
it's
हाँ
important to
ठीक
remember that
पापा आराम
ultimately
से
the
प्रणाम
credit
पापा
moves towards
हाँ
competence, irrespective of your first author and corresponding author. So, and then it's the adaptation. Adaptation is one of the very brilliant things. It is not the researchers who are successful, who are most bright, who are most consistent. It is those who are able to adapt with the changing environment. New technology comes, artificial intelligence is coming. So those who adapt with the new coming technology and moves with the research, they are able to successful. And the opportunities, people say once the project grant will open, I will write the proposal. One has to be ready with the proposal, and once the grant is available, you have to just submit it. So one should be keep jumping for the opportunity. Once it comes, you have to just grab it. It's not once the opportunity comes, then you jump. So that's very important. And then a small story. It was a Dachau hypothermia experiments. Anybody aware of this Dachau hypothermia, human hypothermia experiments? It was a Nazi science. It was a story during the World War II. There was a great research question that the German air crew members who were shot down into the North Sea developed the hypothermia because of immersion into the cold water. So how to have a better therapy? So what they did is human experimentation for the Nazi concentration camp. One is physiology professor, another is the training, and they immerse the prisoners into net without any anesthesia into the varying degree of chilled water, and they measured the vitals and tried the various therapies. Majority died. Around 400 experiments happened. So one of the researchers who was doing had to doing this to get the university admission and complete his degree. So it's because research was doing for some personal gain, you see such kind of brutal crime happens. So it is very important. I'm sure nobody will agree to doing such research, but you will be aware that in history, if you look at such type of so many researches have been happened. So it is very important that ethics should be a very important integral part of research. Whenever we do research, the patient should be treated in the same manner we want treatment for ourselves. Scientific writing. In the school days, we are trained for essay writing, but the scientific writing is entirely different. Even the great research you do, if you're not able to translate into the great writing, it is an entirely different skill set. So you will not have the great publication. So one should learn this scientific writing. And then the work-life balance. I'm not a great model for this. Work demands time, it demands weekend working and a lot of expectations. Similarly, in life demands so much time. Your spouse, your children, your parents, your social network, your health. But it is important to have balance. What benefit if you're doing great in the research, but you're not healthy? So the balance is the most crucial. So how to achieve that? It is a Pareto principle that is very important, that 80% of success depends on 20% of your work. So you have to identify which 20% is useful to you. You have to prioritize, don't involve in unnecessary so many things, unnecessary book chapter writing. Focus on what is your research goal and move into that direction. So the concluding remarks, one has to have a research goal, should be ambitious in having a research goal. Collaboration is the key. Leadership, teamwork, consistency, work-life balance, and ethics is most important. India at present has a great opportunity, great potential, great technology, large number of patients. This is the right time when the researchers in India, especially the young researchers, take a lead and do a great collaborative research and lead the science. I will acknowledge bright students who worked with me, pediatric neurology team at department, my wife and daughter who tolerated me on all my weekend works. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your inspiring journey and your invaluable guidance on the topic. Your words have surely motivated each and every one present here. As a token of our gratitude, we would like to present our dignitaries with a memento. I would request Professor Arun Grover to present the guest of honor, Dr. Mukut Min, with a token of our gratefulness for gracing the occasion. I would request Dr. Deepak Gupta, Principal, to accompany us. I would request our guest of honor, Dr. Mukut Min, to present the speaker of the day, Dr. Jitendra Kumar Sahu, with a memento for sharing his time and wisdom with our students. This event would not have been possible without the untiring support and guidance of Professor Arun Grover, Vice President of Society for Promotion of Science and Technology in India. As a token of our gratitude, I would request our principal, Dr. Deepak Gupta, to present Dr. Arun Grover with a moment. Thank you so much. A lot of people were instrumental in the successful culmination of today's event. I would request Professor Grover to kindly acknowledge